The Battle of the Espero Convoy was the first Second World War surface engagement between Italian and Allied warships. It took place southwest of Crete on the 28th of June 1940, after a force of 7 cruisers and 16 destroyers, preparing to escort 3 Allied convoys to Alexandria, were informed of the presence of an Italian flotilla of 3 destroyers. The Italian warships were bound from Taranto to Tobruk, carrying an anti-tank army unit to North Africa. Background: on the 10th of June 1940, Italy declared war on Britain and France. The Italian High Command expected a British army advance into Cyrenaica led by armoured forces, and decided that an anti-tank unit should be moved to Tobruk as soon as possible. The unit comprised 10 anti-tank guns, 120 short guns of ammunition, and 162 soldiers. Prelude: the Italians chose 3 turbine-class destroyers to transport the anti-tank unit for the high speed and loading capacity. The 3 chosen were Espero, Zefiro and Nostro. The Italian flotilla was commanded by Capitano di Vascello Enrico Baroni. 2 smaller World War I-era escort vessels, the Pilo and the Missouri, which carried 52 troops and additional supplies, departed independently for Tobruk some hours later. At the same time, 3 Allied convoys, 2 from Malta and another from Greece, were to be brought to Alexandria, covered by 7 cruisers: Liverpool, Gloucester, Neptune, and HMAS Sydney, and 16 destroyers. The British warships were commanded by Vice Admiral John Tovey. The Allied operation was supported by short Sunderland flying boats from Alexandria and Malta. Battle: the Italian destroyers were found at noon by 2 Sunderlands some 50 miles west of Zante Island. They were within striking range of Tovey's 7th Squadron, so he ordered them to intercept the Italians in 2 divisions. The first 6 in salvos from the Allied cruisers were fired at 18:30 at the surprised Italian flotilla at a range of 18,000 yards. Baroni realized that, despite the best speed of his ships, they were hopelessly outgunned. He therefore decided to sacrifice Espero in order to enable the other 2 to escape. Espero laid smokescreens and conducted evasive maneuvers. Zefiro and Nostro headed safely to the southwest at full speed. Despite heavy firing, Espero was not hit until 1920, when the range had closed to 14,000 yards. By this time, Tovey had given up the chase of the other 2 destroyers. The 7th Squadron expended about 5,000 shells before Espero was sunk. After 130 minutes of fierce fighting, a single Italian 4.7-inch shell hit HMS Liverpool, but caused little damage. The battle exacerbated a shortage of ammunition at Alexandria, so that the planned Malta convoys were suspended for 2 weeks. HMAS Sydney rescued 47 men from the Italian destroyer, and 6 others were later found alive by an Italian submarine almost 20 days later. Captain Baroni died aboard his ship, and was posthumously awarded the Medaglia d'Oro al Valor Militare. Zefiro and Nostro both reached Benghazi the next day and arrived at Tobruk shortly after. 2/3 of the convoy had been saved. The smaller Pilo and Missouri also arrived safely with the valuable cargoes. Aftermath: there were lessons learned by both sides after this battle. For the Allies, the battle showed that a daylight naval action at long range was unlikely to be decisive when the enemy units outmatched one's own speed. For the Italians, this was a grim lesson about the importance of well-coordinated air surveillance. Had Italian aircraft spotted the Allied cruisers before they came within range, all 3 destroyers would have escaped unscathed. Order of battle denotes flagship Allies Vice Admiral John Tovey, 7th Cruiser Squadron. Light cruisers: Orion, Neptune, HMAS Sydney, Gloucester, and Liverpool. Acts as Captain Enrico Baroni, 2nd Destroyer Squadron. Destroyers: Espero, Ostro, Zefiro. Citations